There has been over 15,000 different Pokemon cards designed, created and released since the Pokemon TCG was first launched. And with there being only 1025 Pokemon, some Pokemon have had a lot of cards printed, with Pikachu alone having over 200 different cards. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go and list my favourite Pokemon card of every single Pokemon. I am going to break all 1025 Pokemon down into generations just so this video isn't 5 hours long, and I think there is no better place to start than Generation 1 and Kanto. So let's go through all of my favourite Kanto Pokemon cards. Now remember, these are my favourite Pokemon cards, so if they differ from yours, that's absolutely fine, you just need to have better taste. So let's start off with Bulbasaur. This is from the Expedition base set and is illustrated by Sachi Matoba. The watercolour style and seeing how chilled out this Bulba is makes this an easy pick. For Ivysaur, it's the Erika's Ivysaur from Gym Challenge, illustrated by the OG Ken Sugimori. Now I love the Ivysaur blending in with the flowers, and the colours of the bulb blending in is a really nice touch. My favourite Venusaur card is a more recent one. It's from the very popular 151 set from Scarlet and Violet. This only released last year and is illustrated by Yoriyuki Ikegami, and I am a big fan of the art style for this card. The pastel colours, the vibrant flowers, and the Venusaur making its way through the forest. This is a stunning card. Charmander is up next, and this is my favourite for a number of reasons. The art style is fantastic first of all, and I love Charmander's expression. It's like a dog being teased by a squirrel it can see in the garden. The fact that Pidgey is also on this card is a bonus. Now, when anyone talks about a Charmeleon card, there's only one I can ever think of, and it is the incredible Dark Charmeleon from the Team Rocket set. Illustrated by Kagimaru Himeno, this one is an absolute classic and it still goes insanely hard. Now it's time for everyone's favourite fire lizard, Charizard. Now there are a bunch of Charizard cards to pick from, many of which have the iconic shiny Charizard on, but for me, there's a clear winner. It is this Japanese exclusive XY promo, where Charizard is fighting Venusaur. The art is fantastic. The expressions on both Charizard and Venusaur are really well done. This card is brilliantly illustrated by Hitoshi Ariga, and sadly due to its price is a card I will likely never own. Now moving on to the final Kanto starter now, and my favourite Squirtle card is one that's fairly unknown, and it was a McDonald's promo all the way back in Japan in 2003. This little cutie blowing a bubble is illustrated by Asuka Hiroshita, and this card might even be in my top 10 cards of all time. Wartortle I think is one of the Pokemon that doesn't have a standout card, but my favourite is this one, Waterbending by Akira Komayama. Blastoise on the other hand has a bunch of amazing cards, but the pick of the bunch for me is this XY promo card. The style of the card, the positioning of Blastoise, and the inclusion of Gyarados and Vaporeon in the background is why this is my favourite Blastoise card. This Metapod just looks like it's had a hard day at work. Now, as we wheedle our way through the Beedrill line, we hit our first alt-art of the series. This swarm of Beedrill flying over the tulip field is really beautiful. With the Pidgey line being one of my favourites in the franchise, I had a tough time picking my favourite Pidgey card. But this one from Hironobu Yoshida is brilliant. The Pidgeotto card is a more recent card from Obsidian Flames. It's the shading on the card that really sells it to me. Now this Pidgeot from Call of Legends is a beauty. The Pidgeot sitting on a branch over a river is really stunning. Spearow is the original Angry Bird, and this one is very angry. Now I have to talk about my favourite Pikachu card. It's the franchise's mascot and is the Pokemon with the most cards ever made. And the card I've chosen out of the hundreds of Pikachu cards available is the Pikachu VMAX Trainer Gallery card from Lost Origin. This card is stunning, Red makes an appearance standing in front of his Pika as it battles in a Galar stadium somewhere, and the art on this is fantastic, and for me is a well deserved winner. This little cute Nidoran is just enjoying the sunset. Oh look, it's from Steam Siege, the set with some incredible underrated artwork in. Nidoking being my second favourite Pokemon of all time has to get a mention here. This Crystal Nidoking from Aquapolis is great. The whole look of the card is brilliant and Nidoking looks very fearsome in this side on view. Clefable didn't really have too many cards I particularly liked, but this one of it farting through the moonlight sky just tickles me, so that's my favourite. Now, is this Vulpix's Pokeball, or has Blaine taught this to pick up those items lying around the Pokemon world? Zubat gets a lot of hate in the games, and understandably so. Its constant spamming in caves is one of the worst things to go through. But this Zubat card from Skyridge is the best Zubat art in my opinion. Even if the card's art is a visual representation of when you step into a cave in the games. This Gloom card is one of the reasons I love illustration rares. We get stunning art for Pokemon that don't really get the spotlight too often. This Parasect card looks like it's praising the sun, which is ironic because it's from the Sun and Moon base set. This almost redeems its evilness from Legends Arceus. Angry Diglett. Look at those angry eyebrows. Now, it was very unlikely I'd make this list without one of the Japanese Munch promos making an appearance, and here is one for my favourite Psyduck card. Illustrated by the much loved Tomokazu Komiya, the whole series of promos are extremely popular. I also love the Haunter and Gengar hiding away in the shadows. Now, Arcanine is a very popular Pokemon, and this one from Heart Gold and Soul Silver is stunning. Naoki Sato does a really great job in showing how majestic and fierce Arcanine really is. I didn't know Mrs. Pollywell knew how to play the air guitar. Kadabra recently got released from Yuri Geller prison, so there aren't too many cards to choose from, but this one focusing on the Spoon from Expedition base set is the best of a bunch. The next time my girlfriend drags me shopping, remind me to bring him a champ to carry all of the stuff. Tentacool is equally as evil as Zubat in my opinion, but this card from Primal Clash is really nice. I really like the Ancient Trait cards. The larger card art was a big win in my opinion. Someone needs to get this Geodude some medicine. The Sword and Shield era saw all arts return, and this Galarian Rapidash is fantastic. Grimer has one of the most infamous ban cards in the Pokemon TCG, but my favourite is Koga's Grimer from Gym Challenge. Now this was the original Surprise Pikachu, but it's also a very good Surprise Patrick as well. Now, with Gengar being my favourite Pokemon, I simply cannot pick just one favourite card. So I picked two. Yeah, I'm breaking my own rules, so what? The first one being the Alt Art from Fusion Strike. I even managed to pack both the English and the Japanese versions myself. It is illustrated by the very colourful So-So, and I love the cartoony details as Gengar eats the berry trees. The second card I have chosen is one that I have on my Grail list. It is the Masaki Gengar illustrated by Hironobu Yoshida. And just look at that grin, it's such an evil smirk. I love it. If you know the Pokédex entries for Drowsy, you know why this artwork is terrifying. Ooh, dreams look like candy floss. I hope they're strawberry flavoured. Look, Cubone even cries when it's asleep. This Hitmonchan EX from Ruby and Sapphire is one of the cards I actually have from my childhood collection, and from that reason alone is why it's in this list. Weezing is known for its poisonous gas it shoots from its body, which is fitting as this card from Hajime Kasujima looks like it's been on some acid itself. Where's its body? Kangaskhan has some great cards, and none better than this one from Aquapolis. It looks like it's a cross between the Windows 98 wallpaper and the Pablo Escobar waiting meme. For Starmie, there's a clear winner. It's this stunning V card from Astral Radiance. The colours pop so nicely and the summer vibes are immaculate. And we even have Misty here as well. The less said about any Jinx card, the better, but this one by Tomokazu Komiya is extra trippy. I like it. Magikarp is a relatively useless Pokemon, but this illustration rare by Shinji Kanda is beautiful. The colours are really bright against the black background and the waterfall makes a bright contrast through the middle of the card. Delta species Gyarados from Holland Phantoms claims the top Gyarados spot for me. The colours and how menacing Gyarados looks in the artwork just give it the edge over some of the other very good Gyarados cards. Ditto has some strange cards in the Pokemon TCG, and none stranger than this Pokemon Ditto Fail from the XY promos. Is this one of the only good 5-ban cards? Maybe good isn't the right word. More terrifying. Eevee being the unofficial mascot also has a lot of cards, but the Radiant Eevee card we got is the best in my opinion. Tsuchiro Gunjima really done a fantastic job catching Eevee's playful nature, and the gemstone background is really beautiful. Gunjima also designed my favourite Flareon art. This really reminds me of the time I used to help my dad light fires when I was a kid. Aerodactyl V alt art from Lost Origins is probably the easiest pick I have made in this entire list. Nurikabe has done a fantastic job capturing the Jurassic Park vibes, and I cannot get enough of this card. I have the Japanese version, but I still need to get the English version. And I actually think this might be my favourite card of all time. Now, what's more iconic than Snorlax sleeping? It's one of the most famous things in Pokemon, and Team Rocket Snorlax from Gym Heroes captures Snorlax laziness perfectly. Moltres has some stunning cards, but the Galarian Moltres V alt art from Chilling Reign is top tier. Shibuzo has done a fantastic job on this card, and like the Squirtle earlier, I think this might be in my top 10. Dragonite is another fan favourite, and the Japanese Game Boy promo by Ken Sugimori is really great. I just love looking at this card. Now, my favourite Mewtwo card is the one that showcases Mewtwo's most traumatic time, when it was still in the incubation tube being held by Team Rocket. This alt art from Shining Legends is brilliant, and it is illustrated by the GOAT of Pokemon artists himself, Mitsuhiro Arita. Now lastly, we have Mew, the final Pokemon in the Kanto Pokedex, and the final card in this video. My favourite card of all time has to be the Japanese Korokoro Shining Mew. The design of Mew in its iconic spin, the sparkle on the hollow pattern, this card is iconic, and it is easy to see why. It is stunning. Hironobu Yoshida, you have outdone yourself again. So that is all of the Kanto Pokemon done. Up next we have Johto, and we will be working through the other regions later on. What do you think of my choices? Are there any you agree with, or do you disagree with most of them? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more Pokemon content. I've been Pigeon, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.